Alright guys, welcome back to our series from the Middle East. We are here in our home away from home at Store 17, and our plan was to buy this JZX Mark II, fit a 1JZ in it, which we found out was actually a 1.5 JZ, but now all the plans have changed. Last 20 minutes, things have heated up. We have a lot to explain.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah.
We got 5 days to engine swap the car, manual swap the car, and the plan was to use this 1.5 JZ. We thought it was a 1JZ, and it's also turned out to be a 2JZ. Now, we're also running into issues with this engine because this is a custom built engine. It's fine, it runs, but the problem I'm having is that this gearbox that's with this W58, which I think is the same as an IS200, I'm not thinking it's going to be able to handle the power of this engine. Also, because this car has a lot of wiring stuff that's really sketchy, and it has a lot of aftermarket parts that shouldn't run on this engine because it's not tuned, or it's tuned strangely, I'm very concerned about trying to get this in the car and running reliably in the next 5 days, because I just don't think we have the time. I'd love to get a link ECU, get all the wiring, get all the sensors, but we don't have time for that. So we had a conversation about maybe changing the plan for this, because it'd be cool to have a 1JZ or 1.5 JZ in the car, but in the Middle East there is a lot of other options, and something so random is that when I bought that engine, I actually forgot that I bought a spare gearbox for my Mustang. So you'll remember my 900 horsepower RTR Mustang. 2 years ago I bought a spare gearbox for that. It's for a Ford, but Ian, we figured out that the Ford manual gearbox,
It's the same.
it's the same, so the bell housing is different.
Well, the thing is, the gearbox is all made by Tremec. So the only difference was the Tremec sold them to Ford, they sold them to Chevrolet, Dodge, everyone. And all they did was change the bell housings to suit the engines they were being bolted to. So this would have been bolted to like a Coyote 5-litre V8 Ford motor. Obviously, we want to go to an LS, so hence why we're just testing this one. This is damaged, but apparently these are really easy to get hold of in the UAE.
Well, Sultan said that we could take this one and repair it.
Yeah.
And he would order another one.
Of course, so yeah.
So basically, Ian gave away what the new plan is. The plan is that it might make more sense cost-wise to actually put an LS in this, because they're very plentiful here. They're in every scrapyard. It's non-turbo, which means we don't have all the intercoolers, all the wastegate problems, the turbo problems, the tuning problems. This we might keep as a spare for the 1JZ cars we have back home. But if we're trying to build a car 5 days that's going to be reliable, it might make more sense to put a V8 in this NA, because we already have the gearbox that I didn't know I had. That's where we're at right now. We're just testing to see if everything fits. If it does, we might go get a V8 and have a new plan. Okay, first and foremost, we also have a problem with putting an LS in this car. This is a non-turbo 2-litre, so the rear subframe is okay, but the differential and rear axles or half shaft are not strong enough. They're just going to break. So if we have a T6060, which is a hugely, like a massive, that gearbox held 890 horsepower in my Mustang, same gearbox. So I'm not worried about that. If we can get a Mark IV Supra or a Risto rear diff and shafts for it, we'd have really strong rear end, really strong gearbox, and an NA engine, which we could put on a link down the line, but we could get it running this week. So we have the gearbox. We need to now go find diff, axles, and a whole engine. Simple, right? So as I said, we are under serious pressure, so we can't film everything super fancy, but you can see with the McLaren, there is an LS. Good? Good. So it's all going off. We're now putting the JZX on the ramp. We made the call, Sammy. We made the call. We're going to go LS.
Yeah, for turbo.
So we started with a very different plan, but that's the nature of this week. So as the car now goes on the ramp, in the office where it's a little bit quieter, Lucas is now editing the first episode. So this is 2 episodes to go. That's how fast we're getting through this. So Lucas is trying to get this done as fast as possible. And then, as you can see, the JZX is now going on to the ramp. At this moment in time, we don't have an engine. We have a gearbox, so we're going to try and figure out where we're going to get an engine. So we need an LS, whether we go 1, 2, or 3. We'll see what the prices are like. Right now, the car stands me €3,800 as it is. The gearbox that I bought 2 years ago was like €500, so we're not doing too bad. We're like €4,300 with the gearbox on the car, but hopefully the engine doesn't come in too expensive. Ian? This has to be the 2 most unusual LS swaps ever going to happen right across from each other. So we're going to put an LS in a JZX90, and then over there they're putting an LS in a McLaren. So LS the world, right?
Everyone knows I'm a big advocate.
And you know what?
LS
Here
swap.
comes Mr. Bad Influence himself. Sultan, I've got a bone to pick with you. So I come here with my Japanese car.
Yeah.
I just get this aura in your workshop straight away. I'm like, something doesn't feel right, and then we end up putting an LS in it.
I think it's a better idea.
You
Now
can-
I know I can help you, but 2J stuff, it's on your own. Go find the
So all we
scrap
ever say about you is you put LSs in everything. We come here for what, half a day, and we're putting an LS in a JZX.
Isn't it easier?
It is easier.
That's it.
I'm feeling excited because I don't even know I've ever heard of an LS swapped JZX90 before on my side of the world anyway.
I just started fiddling with JZX and I put a 2J.
You put a 2J in it, and I put an LS in it. What a world. So Sultan, I'm gonna have to brief you on what's happened. So
Okay.
you were on the phone to me. This is how it happened live. You said we could find an LS easy, but a gearbox is hard to find. And I forgot that I had this gearbox.
Brilliant.
So we
Now,
found a bell housing.
Yeah.
So now the gearbox issue is okay.
Yeah.
Now we just need an engine.
I think we could find that.
You think you have one here?
Pretty sure. We'll find something.
We'll find something. This
Give
is
us a
I'm
few
excited.
minutes.
This is I always come here and he's got loads of stuff down there. So I'm hoping he has stuff this time that might suit this.
Pretty sure we have something. We'll find something. Give us
Awesome.
5 minutes then. McLaren engine?
I think if we put a McLaren engine in it, my budget's going to go out the window very quickly.
It has a gearbox too.
I was about to say, do we really want to give Ian that job? Ian, can you figure out how to put a full McLaren engine in a JZX would be quite a
13B with a gearbox.
A rotary? I don't know what that mess. We just said the 1J was going to be too unreliable, so...
We have a 7G here from the
7G?
yeah, automatic.
That's a strange one. What we got over here?
LS1 with all the
This is an LS1,
yeah.
with all the bits.
I think or LS2. I'm not sure, but it's either 1 or 2.
So 1 or a 2. So what did the 1 and the 2 come in that for people that don't know much about LSs?
Depends on where you're around the world. If you're from America, LS1s came in everything.
Yeah, all the trucks, everything.
LS2s are like the old Caprices, the cop cars, the GTOs even came with LS1s or 2s. And if you're Australia, you get the Holdens, the Commodores, and all that stuff came with 1 or 2. And here we got the same. So either LS2, it came in like all the old cop cars here and stuff. So
You guys have a lot of them around the place.
I think it's a 1 though, but the cover threw me off, so I'll check. This was gonna go to Night Ride if I was a mistake.
You offered this to Night Ride to put in their Lada.
Yeah, it was a cool project, but I don't think it would fit. So
Now we're going to put it into a, well, hopefully,
JZX.
a JZX, which I've never... I'm loving this week because I have no idea what's going on. Usually, you know me, I like to plan, I have a schedule, we're going to do this. Nothing. We're now putting a different engine in a different car one day after we landed, essentially.
Just winged it.
We just winged it, really.
And there's so if you need heads, crank,
Oh, we got bits.
because they come with all the cars. But manuals, I'm glad you have it. I think it'll be,
It's so much cooler.
and not only that, it'll be easy since you have the box.
And I think one of your boys here was saying he even has some pedal.
Oh, brilliant.
So we're not doing too bad. Clarence, this looks very complicated. I mean, I'm not sure how in the name of God you would ever make that work in anything else because there's a lot going on there. Yeah,
Under warranty till April.
it's under warranty?
Till April.
Well, it's got warranty. So Ian, you got it on the ramp.
Yeah.
What do we think? We found an engine.
Found an engine.
You
Found an engine.
Found an engine down the back.
Right.
So it's an LS1.
Yep.
That's fully dressed.
Yep.
So we now somehow have to take this out, I guess, right?
Yeah, we've got to strip this down now, so
Give me your thoughts straight away. Tougher, easier, hard, or hard to
probably
know?
easier. Less work, no boost hoses, no intercooler to mount, none of that rubbish, just an inlet and an exhaust and bolt
And
it in.
we can do a fancy inlet and exhaust.
We can do a nice exhaust on it. There's loads of room under it. So we can do nice wire pipe down, bring it all the way through the car, come out, get a nice back box under there. It's really clean under here, it's nice.
It is absolutely spotless under
Yeah, there's
here.
a few marks where people have had it on ramps before previously.
But like, you know what they're like
But-
up back home, the amount of rust in
yeah,
these things.
right, there is not an ounce of rust on this car. This car is mint.
It is mint. That's a very small diff.
Yeah, it's tiny, yeah.
That would
But the
worry
good
me.
thing is that the rear subframe and the back plates of the diff is the one that takes the second pickup, so I'm not sure why they haven't done that. I don't know what's gone on there, but yeah, it's look, clean car, very clean car.
No rust, no issues, everything seems to be working. Nice.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em a shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stay down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now.
So Ian, you got to take out the engine and gearbox first, right?
Yep.
Easy, hard? What do you think?
No, easy. It's always, everyone knows it's easy to take a car apart.
It's hard to put it all back
Worst bit is
together.
putting it all back together again. Yeah, it'd be easy. These are pretty simple. There's not a lot to them. So we just get the exhaust disconnected in a minute, drain the coolant, get the rad out, get the exhaust off, get the prop undone, and then yeah, we can think about pulling the engine and gearbox out.
Right, well, let's get to work. All right, so yeah, I think we have a plan now. So Ian has measured up some stuff. Sultan's made some phone calls. We're going to go get some parts. We need a lot of parts.
Game change. Yeah. Leave now, what else? Take it up, what's your
So this is all, let's just say, it's kind of Chinese parts, but very weird stuff for patrols, rads. So it's got like fittings, pieces of exhaust, like intakes, basically all we would need to get this car to work. I need a clutch, I need a rad, and then we'll see what else we can find.
I love these shops because they sell all the sort of stuff that you need, but sometimes you go into a shop and they go, there's no way I've got that in stock. These guys stock everything. It's perfect. You just come in, buy what you need, and they're open until late at night. Don't get better than that. Well,
That's a Samsung stuff.
Yeah.
That's very expensive. That'll look fucking cool. But that's a sequential shifter.
No, that's for a BMW gearbox.
Oh, that's the the lock-off one.
Yeah, it's just a 5-speed.
This is reverse. Will that work? But Samsung stuff, so it's going to be expensive, I think. Oh, price it. This should never have come here. Everything was going so cheap for a minute, and then I was like,
you should have done.
my point is, if I have to buy the original surround, that's going to cost money. But if you put that in it, it'll look like you've put it in aftermarket, which is fine. Whereas if you try and put the manual one in, you got to move the shifter everywhere. It might not line up. So this one, at least if it's not in the right place, will look like you've aftermarketed.
But you get rid of the stabilizer rod as well, because like a BMW, the Coyote one or the T66 runs a stabilizer rod to the shifter.
Yeah.
You delete that and then you just literally make your own linkage.
Because for me, like this aftermarket steering wheel, a few gauges will be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make it stock.
No.
I think that but it depends how much this is though, because this is I have one of these in the Corvette, and the rest of this was very expensive, so I don't know how much this is. Do you have a price on this? I bought these. These are billet cam covers for the 2JZ and the Lambo, which I was going to have to get from Australia or America for a lot more money. So here they are. I'm not even going to say how much that was because I want people to think that was expensive, but it wasn't.
It was $300.
It was 300 quid. Thanks, Lucas. Yeah, cheapest part in the Lambo.
I feel like you've decided you found.
I like the fact that if you make something like Ian can make a plate for this and it look like it's aftermarket rather than trying to shoehorn, because where the shifter will be, it'll be different. So I think embracing it and making it look like that looks like a JZX, but it has something fancy. Depends how much this is, but like this would be very cool, and the gear shifting would be really nice as well. The best JZX in the world.
So how much was the
This is
Samsung?
the problem, right? When I go to the one in Oman, I'm like, I'll have that. I'll have one of those.
I have to show it, right? So this is, and that is a genuine Samsung part.
I hope so.
Don't ask.
So I'm going to put this shifter in it. This is €90. So I'm going to buy two. I'm going to put this in one of the cars back home as well. And then Ian can make a plate, and that'll look sick in the car. This day has turned out to be a little bit more than we bargained for. Right, no, I don't want to say it now because he'll give me a high price. Or have we agreed a price for it beforehand?
We are selling for customer 1,500 dirham.
Okay.
The best price for Sultan 1,200 dirham.
400 euros.
€300.
300.
Is that a dual plate clutch?
Yes.
Yeah, and a flywheel, and a cover. Don't billet.
And flywheel.
Even the camera can't believe it. It's the same price as a standard OEM clutch for a Golf back home. What are we taking now?
We're taking two fans, the radiator, the shifter,
Yeah.
and the
need two
the
of
valve
these.
covers and the aluminum pipe for the intake.
Perfect. We started small and now we're getting fancy because
So now we bought an inlet and
Serious?
a throttle on it. We got to look as good as you, man. We can't.
I'm thinking like the plastic cover doesn't look very
Yeah, we'll
nice
get
on it
rid
when
of
you
that.
pop it open.
خربت الريال انت.
I don't know what he said, but it's probably like, get this guy out of here, he's buying too much stuff. I spoiled the man. I still, like, the prices. So the full inlet manifold plus the throttle body is like €290. Like, you're not even buying a filter back home for that. I think it's gonna, like, when you pop open the bonnet, it's gonna look very impressive. When Sultan is telling me I'm getting too fancy, we got a problem in here.
LS1 all the way through to LS6. For free.
Wasn't this supposed to be a cheap spot? You bought the whole store, man. Fucking relax.
Leave some for the Arabs.
Let's get the regulator now then,
You sure?
Yeah,
because
might
we
as
need to
well.
mount it and then measure.
Yeah, measure for the lines.
Arab. Sure.
Fuel regulator.
1,000 more than
Yeah,
that.
1,000.
But I'll bring it back to the place. I'll put it all on the floor. You'll say I'm crazy. I'll price it for you guys, and you tell me if I'm crazy.
He's not crazy. I've told you. I've been to the one in Oman and know how cheap this stuff is. I know how good quality it is.
They can overhear you. It's very expensive, so just it's good price. Good price.
And that's why it makes sense to do it, especially while the car's here in the Middle East. Just do it now and do it once, do it right.
Plastic cover on the LS1.
Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate.
Alright guys, so we went shopping and we bought a lot of stuff, probably more than we needed, but it was very reasonably priced. But yeah, today has started with a 1.5 JZ and ended with a full LS swap setup. So I'm going to keep a track on the cost because I know you guys want to know how much all this stuff costs. So JZX90, this car cost me €3,800 plus €200 registration. That's €4,000. This car in Ireland, what we're talking about, €10,000 maybe, even non-turbo. So 4,000 for the car, 1,000 for the engine. The gearbox was €500, but I bought that 2 years ago on a good deal. And then we got fan shroud, the rad, the shifter, the intake, the fuel pump, the fuel pressure regulator, the fittings, and the air filter pipe. That was all about €1,300. So far into my, which I didn't even know this morning, LS swapped JZX, I am €6,800 into the car, which wouldn't even buy you a rusty one of these in Ireland. So we're doing well so far. But the real value comes from the brains of these two gentlemen who know what they're doing. Because at this point, I only know my PIN code to my credit card, but they know how to put it all in the car. So the next stage is to rip this engine out and start putting in some shiny new bits.
Dave, please explain how much this would cost in Ireland.
Like I said, we're 6,800 into the car. If this was Ireland right now, standing here, with import duty, customs, shipping, the LS, the car, I think we'd be about 15,000, 16,000 into this.
Easily. The gearbox alone is probably 1,500 quid to 2 grand. Yeah.
I bought this pre-COVID, so like it was 2-3 years ago. It was like a magical time where things were reasonably priced, but not. But this just worked out. And I didn't even have a use for this gearbox because I sold the car, the Mustang that it was. So like it was literally useless. Now it's useful. So yeah, we're probably saving about €10,000 so far, but where we really save is in the knowledge of Sultan and the magic hands of Ian Waddington, which is going to make all the difference in the next 2 days. So I'm excited to see it all get torn apart now. Perfectly working car, never modified, all about to change.
No problem. Come on. Sultan, go outside. Yeah, Raju. Good job. Fucking ruined the car, no problem.
So you're about what, 45 minutes in?
Yeah.
What have we got done so far?
Cooling system's out, that's all drained. Took apart the shifter, got all the trim out. That was, hence why I got the fancy gloves on, because I had dirty hands and the trim's quite clean, so I wanted to make sure I didn't wreck anything.
Come at me, Ian. So you're over here with your fancy gloves, $4 grand Toyota.
Yep.
And over here the noise has been far more extreme. So Ian was afraid of damaging the trim on the JZX there, so he's being very
I put
careful.
gloves on so I don't damage the trim.
Over here we're just chopping the chassis out of a McLaren. So this is
Two different worlds.
Two different worlds, but both getting sort of the same engine, which is really funny to me. Although this one will be a lot fancier.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the parts for this.
We'll massage it with him. Massage.
Oh, there it is. This is a McLaren chassis piece.
That's structural integrity in your
Do
hands.
you think that this like voids the warranty, or?
I think the warranty's fine. I don't think there's an issue here. Like it's warranted till April, right?
Yeah, till April.
I think if you brought this in, they wouldn't even notice. I think they'd be like, this is absolutely fine. You've replaced the engine with so much more power now with this guy. Raju's got all the power right now. You can't even watch.
Where we at, Ian?
Close now, Lucas.
We're close.
Yeah, man.
T minus
30 minutes.
and we're dropping the engine?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Props out, exhaust is off, cooling's out, the old shifter's out. Just gonna disconnect the fuel lines here which are on some crazy adapters. I haven't really seen this before, but yeah, disconnect them. Got to disconnect the aircon, so we're going to suck the gas out of that. Obviously, we're not going to pollute the atmosphere with gas, so we're going to suck the gas out. A couple more earth straps to disconnect. Pop the engine mounts, pop the transmission mount, slide her out, pull it out, go home, get some sleep, come back in the morning, put a LS block. So I don't need a full engine, so I'm going to borrow one of Sultan's bare LS blocks, bolt that to the gearbox, put that in the car, so then I've got loads of room, so like I can work in here without having all the manifold in the way. Get the engine mounts made and the gearbox mount made, pull that out, paint that, strip that for Dave as well so he can paint some stuff. Put that all in. By tomorrow night we'll have the LS and the gearbox in the car. We'll know a prop length for the prop people and we can start putting all the fancy stuff together. Raji's going to wire it for us, which is simple. He says like 4 wires. Yeah.
Nice. Good job. Killing it. And look, finish tomorrow, we might be able to go have a little party this week still.
No advice.
Not no more?
I'm done partying. Alright, we'll just leave that there. I just got power still fluid all over my head.
Well, Ian, it was all theory up till now, and now out comes the engine. From
no
here.
going back now, Dave. This is you sure? Because I could still connect it all back up.
Nah, we're good.
Put the V8 in.
Look at this. Look at this.
I
took this off, which looks a bit crap, but this looks pretty good.
But it doesn't look anything now. Give it 24 hours.
You reckon 24 hours we'll have it in? We have no choice.
We're running out of days.
We're running out of days. We lost a whole day trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, we had no car, so we lost a day. So
just remind everyone, this is not the car we came here to buy, and not the engine we came to put in the car, but we have the bonnet off, and we're about to take the engine out. Just gotta say for reference, it's been a long day. We're now ready to take this engine out of the JZX, and if we move over to the other side of the workshop, just want to give you guys a little preparation here. This is going to look absolutely insane. What? It looks like it should be there. A lot of work to do, but a little test fit of the intakes. Look at that. Full carbon intakes just sitting inside the back of the McLaren.
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit.
We're gonna put a smaller intake. The heads are too big. These are Mass Motorsports 305, the black label. Just to mock up on this, the intake fits this head, so Roger's having fun.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like you might have a problem closing, huh? Looks cool though.
It looks really cool.
Can we get a little smaller one? Like shave it off a little bit?
The heads, these heads are huge.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Amazing airflow and everything, but it's a LS3, this is a LS7 spare block I had. Just to mock up where things should work.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Looks very cool. Wow.
Putting in some wood as protection, Ian?
yeah, just to stop the front of the engine hitting the aircon condenser, because that's the last thing we need. Well, you don't have aircon at the moment.
Sucked all the gas out of the room is what you did, Ian.
Took all the fun out of your party, Dave. That's what I've done.
Air conditioning. Who needs that in the Middle East?
You won't need that.
Sweaty
Do you
boys.
know even something else that I discovered earlier when I put the car on the ramp?
What?
The driver's window doesn't open,
Doesn't open.
and now you have no aircon.
Look at an engine though, like fancy engine. I can sweat it out while being very fast.
Under the bottom.
Fascinated. I think engine swaps are from this. I don't know what's going on half the time, but it fascinates me to see a car being ripped apart.
And she's out. Yeah, boys.
Now going back now. Look at all the room for activities. Nice work, Ian.
I'm very dirty. That's the dirty
general.
part. And Raju's the man.
She's out and about. Anyone want to buy a brilliant conversion? What, about an hour?
I'd say about an hour and a half, probably. Time I was messing around, I was talking to Sultan. They've got me doing double duty over here as well. Dave was like, "Come do an engine change," and Sultan was like, Ian can do aluminium welding, and I need aluminium welding done.
Sultan, because
we're
we're using his workshop and
he hooks us up with good parts, and he's going to take us to some.
you can do what you want.
Yeah.
But mostly the JZX.
So we're going to do some welding on the McLaren. So I've been backwards and forwards chatting to Sultan about gearbox brackets and engine mounts as well. So
Another useless Toyota engine just to the scrap heap because these are an awful engine.
yeah, this is, you know what, this is about 100 horsepower of pure awesomeness.
Never break down.
To be fair, the engine is immaculate. Like, I'll show you how clean it is, right? Normally, antifreeze, right, corrodes all the aluminium. This is like brand new. This car has done like no miles.
90k on it, I think, which is not a lot, especially when it's a 1994. So this thing has sat up a long time, but that doesn't matter because we just took it all out anyway.
Forget about it.
Could have gone to the shops in it, could have driven around in it, absolutely perfect, tested, went through flying colours. One day later, take the whole running gear out of the car.
So this is going to be filled with this. And a crazy intake manifold.
And we're going to do some powder coating and some painting. We're going to try and make the LS look as Toyota as possible, basically. Like that it was an upgraded stock engine that could have come in this. Like a 1UZ, but a far better 1UZ. Sorry, 1UZ guys. I'd rather an LS than a 1UZ. Hate me in the comments. I can feel your pain.
Leave the comments, please.
Yeah.
All the hate,
Hey, 1UZs are fine.
hate away.
But compared to an LS? American muscle, baby. All right, so that is us done for day one. Started with a 1JZ, which turned into a 2JZ, which turned into a V8. Ian and Raju got the engine out, so tomorrow they'll start to put the V8 back in. I, on the other hand, have to go to Abu Dhabi, which is about 2 hours away, have a very important meeting, so I'm gonna let the boys come here in the morning, keep working away. But I have a very special car to go to Abu Dhabi in, because my friend Hamdan, who I'm meeting at the meeting, gave me this. So this is an A90 Supra. I have an A90 Supra, but this is the launch edition, new color, 2024. There's one thing about this car, and my car does not have the same engine, but she's a manual.
So it's day 2 of swapping engines on 2 different cars. Where we at with your car?
It's getting there, it's fine.
Fine, but that's what you always say.
Exactly, it's always.
You look like you had rough sleep last night.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I had rough sleep last night.
had rough.
I swear. Any more nights of Dave Egan snoring, I'm just gonna have to sleep in the balcony. Good morning, by the way.
So just cutting down some bolts that we had in the workshop, some old ones, just so I can get the gearbox mounted to the engine, get the engine and gearbox lifted in the car. While Dave's out and about, he's going to pick up some new bolts. Some new bolts for the engine mounts. I've already started, made a cardboard template, making the engine mounts, drilled these plates out of what's on the block. So I'm going to lift that in there, cut those out, get those bolted to the engine when Dave gets back to the bolt, make the mounts to the car, make the gearbox mount, lift it all back out, and then this evening when it's cooled down, because as you can see, it's hot. Everyone stopped. What's it now? 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. So everyone rests, everyone goes and prays, but not Englishmen.
Nope.
So we're going to keep working. So this evening when it's cool, we're going to wash the engine down, strip off all the stuff we don't need, get it back in the car with a new mount, start bolting up all some of the fancy stuff. I'm going to start working out the exhaust, and then tomorrow we can hit it exhaust. We could get a prop measurement tonight as well for the prop people. Hey, can you believe that they've trusted us with the vlog? You're new.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yo,
Drift Games extended family,
Yes.
and it's just us.
So Ian looks like he's having technical difficulties at the moment with the transmission.
The input shaft's fairly long. I don't know whether we can get away with cutting it down, but he's hitting on the back of the cap on the back of the crank. Probably going to have to cut a good 10 mil off of it. I've got really good engagement anyway, but I need the pilot bearing, so I have to wait till Raju's back to find out if he's got the right size pilot bearing for this nose after that crank. So, yeah.
I have some really good engagement.
Raju's in the building because Raju has already run into this problem, and that's why I said we would wait for Raju to come back.
Raju, break it down for us.
Break it down. Okay.
In your own language, what do we need to do?
Exactly what I said. We can't cut it down because the input shaft's too long, and he's had exactly the same problem before. Made a little tool. This is to remove old pilot bearings, but it's also so he can check what one it is. In my head, I already kind of had an idea that that's what was going to happen. I was hoping that the pilot bearing would go far enough in the crank if we were using the right one, but we're not. So.
And that's what you call experience, which I have zero. Sultano, see me. Hey.
My people, it's time to move out. Show them what we do now. They say they're
Very good, very good. Well, we're going to obviously pull the input shaft out to have a machine. Everyone knows now what the problem is.
Yeah.
They can't get the input shaft out without taking the rest of the gearbox apart. So now we've got to fully strip most of the gear set out to get the input shaft out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But we're in good hands here.
We're in good hands.
These boys done a few of these gearboxes, I can tell.
They know their way around these gearboxes, that's for sure.
fly away. While I'm slipping like an absent thought, rollerblade skipping, skidding along the top of Noah's Ark. Cypher holy yacht, me and my people think we know it. Our flowing suspenseful poems, suspenders in every word, wearing no.
Oh yes, we got it out. That's the one, huh?
Mm-hmm. Headache. So to give us enough play between the two gear sets, obviously where the input shaft goes onto the main shaft, or the lay shaft, we had to separate a load of the gears to allow the gearbox to flex apart enough so we can get that out, because obviously this drives the lay shaft with all the rest of the gears on it.
Okay.
So now this is out, we can get this down to the machine shop. They're going to machine that end down to the right diameter. We're also going to shorten it by 20 mil and then shorten this by 20 mil. Do you know the sad thing, if he was in the UK, I have a lathe. Got that out, put it in my lathe, machined it, put it back together an hour, and we could have still probably have tried to get the engine in the car, but lathes aren't easy to come by, they're expensive, so we're going to take it to a proper machine shop. So input shaft's back from machine shop, we're just putting the gearbox back together. About 45 minutes, we should have the rest of the gearbox together, bolt it to the LS, throw it in the car, start making some mounts.
Okay, so 12 hours later, I'm back. We're only at putting the engine in bit now, Ian.
Yeah, about that.
Did we have a day?
Oh, we had a serious day.
My everything will be fine statement when I left was not correct.
I mean, we could go all the way back to the phone call of, we're just going to do an engine swap.
So I don't know, you guys obviously do, because Lucas will have edited in what's happened today. I have no idea what's happened, but give me top 3 things that happened today.
The input shaft was too long, so the gearbox wouldn't bolt to the engine. We stripped the whole gearbox, found some problems with the gearbox, fixed the problems, now we're ready to go.
Looks like I went to the meeting on the right day. Lucas even looks distraught today.
I'm even fucking helping.
I had meetings all day today. Big stuff for drifting, but I can't because it's all very NDA and secret, but hopefully soon everybody will, it's getting there. But yeah, I thought we would be much further along. But it looks like we've actually just got to the point where it's now what, nearly 11 p.m?
Is it that late?
And you've been here since probably what?
The boys opened the door at 11 a.m.
So you've been here 12 hours
Yeah,
to get to this point.
building a gearbox.
Building a gearbox for 12 hours. In the Middle East,
With a language barrier.
you think the language barrier is the hardest?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
What, that they can't understand people from Essex?
I mean, at this point, all I can do is laugh, because everyone at home, there'll be a lot of people hopefully going, I feel his pain, and then a lot of people saying, why didn't you get this done easier?
I can't imagine a V8 has gone into too many JZXs at this point anywhere in the world. I would imagine this is, it's probably been done somewhere, probably America, but definitely not in the Middle East, and I've never seen one in Europe. We're kind of in uncharted territory.
And I've never done any of this before. So.
You're just, I don't even know why you're getting involved. I love it. I love the enthusiasm. So this is going to be a moment of truth because we have to put the engine in, see where it sits, where we're going to make mounts for it. We also have to see where the shifter goes because obviously it's a completely different gearbox than what would be normally in the car. And then we've got a ton of other stuff to figure out. But first step is getting it in the car. And Ian, one of the things we were worried about was the prop because that's got to be made over,
And balanced
over a couple of days.
Yeah, over 2 days.
So we've got to get to that point fairly quickly because we have what now?
3 days.
3 days to finish this car and get it running.
Yeah.
And the first day we didn't even have a car.
No.
The second day we changed the engine we were going to put in the car.
Yep.
And then the third day the gearbox took the whole day.
Yeah.
It's going great. It's going just class.
The balance is restored. I'm holding the camera again.
Yeah, but I'm holding an engine, so that's not good either. But beggars can't be choosers at this hour.
Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah, stuff it in there, Ian.
That is not far away.
How about the...
Oh. Yeah, there. It looks like you'd literally leave that down on it as it is. Wild that we're putting an engine in that we've not even Googled anything here. We haven't even any reference. We're just doing it, eyeballing it. So hopefully things are looking positive. Things are looking positive. Are we in?
We're in.
We're in. How does she line up with the shifter? the question now.
Look at that face. Look at that face.
So when people said, what should we do in our videos this year, Ian? They said, we want to see the misery. We want to see the technical part. So usually we would just gloss over the fact that this didn't go so well today. And we would just say, oh, it all went flying in.
It's perfect, yeah.
It did. But it is sitting loosely in there now.
Yep.
Immediate things screaming out to me are the bonnet not closing because it's much higher. And we're going to put another intake on top of that and how we make that look good rather than just terrible. And the shifter doesn't seem to be too bad, but there's a ton of stuff that will need to be
located.
Yeah, all over the place. But for our first day, when we actually knew what the engine we were putting in it is mocked in.
Yeah, I mean, it's in there, and we've had a stressful day. We didn't expect to rebuild the gearbox. We didn't know that the input shaft was going to be too long. So we've had a lot of, you know, speed umps along the way, a lot of...
But hopefully they're the last of our speed up. They won't
Yeah.
be. They never are.
No, they never are.
No. But what I like about this is that we're finding solutions, we're getting through it, and then tomorrow morning, in the next episode, we can start with at least knowing the engine's somewhat
In the car.
Then there's going to be a load of other problems, which I'm sure I'm going to be here for all of them. I missed a lot today. I won't miss the rest of them. And we've got 3 days to make this a running, driving car.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more idiots abroad trying to do stupid engine conversion in cars that shouldn't what are we even doing?
What are we doing?
I don't even know what we're doing.
I
Anyway, we said we were doing it, so we're doing
We're doing it.
We'll see you in the next episode. Things will happen, probably escalate out of control again. Join us then for more. Ian looking dirty, me looking confused, and Lucas going, why did I even bother coming to this trip? See you then.
It's time to fly away, fly away. His blood set me free. It's time to fly away.